Hello everybody, welcome back to our channel. I'm Dr. Amel from City Skin Clinic, and today I've got some super exciting news for you. Before we start, if you're new to our channel, welcome, and please don't forget to subscribe to this channel if you're interested in seeing some more of our content. We're putting up fresh content 3 times a week. If you are a returning visitor, an even bigger welcome, and don't forget to like this video at the end if you like it. Exciting news. Well, look, it's been a really difficult year and a bit, you know, for everybody in the whole world. This pandemic started, you know, early 2020 is when we found out about the first few cases, at least in the UK, and it just seems surreal that as of kind of March 2020, we just went into lockdown in the UK and most people around the world. And then, you know, we reopened briefly, and then we had another bit of a local lockdown in London in November. And then just as we thought that, you know, the year was coming to an end, a national lockdown in the UK was announced in December. And look, I'm being lighthearted about this, but actually it's obviously was absolutely necessary. And there's a little bit of bright light at the end of the tunnel. So actually the cases in the UK are starting to come down. The number of deaths are starting to come down, and this is amazing. And it's just really good. And the vaccination program is up and running, and they're making good progress with that. So, you know, a little bit of positivity is what we needed, a bit of good news. And with that, the other bit of good news is, so a kind of a guide for reopening the country was announced on Monday by the Prime Minister. And actually, you know, it looks like if everything goes well, which, you know, hopefully is going to happen, not just for our sakes, but for everyone's. But if everything goes well, non-essential shops and services, which will include medical aesthetic clinics, will be allowed to reopen. So this is such a sigh, kind of a bit of relief. And I know in the context of everything else that's happening, it may seem a bit frivolous to be talking about reopening aesthetics or anything like that, but really this is just a sign of good progress for everyone. You know, lots of people have sort of, you know, had immeasurable loss in terms of family and friends. People have gotten sick, and the fact that we're in a position to reopen the country is based on the fact, or should be, and it seems to be, that we're starting to get good control of this disease. And you know, it's just it's nice to see a bit of progress, I will say. And I think everyone sort of who's been sort of complying with the laws and the rules and patient deserves kind of the biggest star and pat on the back, a socially distanced one, because it's just been just an incredible period. So I'm excited because we're going to be able to reopen the clinic. We're going to be able to welcome our customers back, both new and old clients, and we're actually starting to book up pretty fast ever since the announcement. Thank you to the amazing people who booked even when there wasn't a set date, with the patience for us to keep moving the appointment every time there was a delay. And that's really important, that kind of optimism but flexibility. You know, we are excited to reopen, but to do so in the safest possible way. So here's what's going to happen and what's not going to happen. We are, as always, going to follow government advice and also what's happening health-wise. So in the past, just before the initial lockdown was announced, I actually closed the clinic early because just the numbers looked insane, and it just didn't seem safe or right to stay open and wait for the inevitable, which was a shutdown. And we're going to keep doing that. We're a responsible business. I care about our patients, I care about our staff, I care about our kind of community, and this is important that we act responsibly. So we're going to open on the 12th of April if the government says, confirms that it's okay to do so, and that's going to be based on the data. So if the numbers are doing badly, even if we'll be able to reopen, we're going to open when it's safe and legal to do so, and that's a really important for me that we do that. But I'm optimistic based on what we're seeing right now in terms of progress. So our appointments, they're going fast, but we've opened the diary and allowing people to book in. If for any reason the numbers don't do well, the government says that there's a delay, all we will do is, as usual, just move appointments to another date, and the appointments will be moved in the order that they were booked in. So if you were the first person booked for the first clinic back, you will be booked for the first appointment of the first clinic for the new date, just to make it fair and to reward the people who are loyal to us. And who have really booked their place first. So you're not going to miss out, and if you want to secure an appointment for when we reopen, the earlier appointments, I would recommend reserving it now. And then when we reopen, honestly, even with the vaccine in place, we're going to continue taking the measures to protect our clients and our staff from COVID-19. So these are enhanced COVID protocols that I put in place when we reopened in the summer after the first lockdown, and that will involve giving our staff PPE, giving our clients PPE, certain enhanced cleaning procedures. So on top of what we used to do, there are certain protocols we undertake specifically aimed at COVID. You will be able to feel safe, and that's really important, is that you're in a safe environment and you feel safe, and our clinic is not going to stop any of these measures. We're going to continue with the virtual clinic in terms of for people who just want a consultation, they don't want the treatment, and for initial follow-ups, we will continue to offer them in the virtual clinic. The same for Abaji skincare. And the reason for this is, to be honest, there is really no point in having people make the unnecessary inconvenient journey to come in for something that can be done online. So in the clinic is just when we need to do procedures. And that's worked really well, and I know that our clients have really appreciated that. If you have a virtual follow-up and you need to come in for a face-to-face, then we will arrange that immediately for you. So you're not missing out at all, and if anything, I found it has increased massively the number of people that attend their follow-ups, because in the past people just used to cancel their follow-up if they didn't need anything, which is the vast majority of our patients. Whereas now it's really nice, they quickly pop into Zoom and let me know, actually, I'm great, I'm happy, I just thought I'd say hello, which is always lovely. And then in terms of treatments, we're going to be offering our full array of treatments, just because that's what we've done in the past, and because we have the protocols in place. The whole team will be back, and we're all just really, really excited. It's been tough, and hopefully this is just going to continue to get better, and not just in terms of us opening, but so many businesses have during this period had to shut down, which was necessary to get control on the infection, but sadly a lot have gone under, and I would say if there are businesses in your area, particularly hospitality, leisure, dining out, if there are these businesses that you feel attached to or you love, find ways to support them, because they may not, once everything reopens, they may not return. If there's a food service that's offering delivery, try and support them that way. Some places like spas are offering vouchers, so check the terms and conditions, but if you feel comfortable doing that, just little things to support. And other businesses have started selling products online to help them. And so, like I said, we're kind of all in this together, and we want to come out of this together stronger, better, happier, and you know, like, recovery is always tough, so this is just kind of my 2 cents. But with respect to the clinic, I just wanted to share this good news. It's over the moon. I'm cautiously optimistic. Of course, if anything changes and we have to stay locked down for longer, that's not a problem. We will open when it's safe to do so, and when we do, we're going to make sure there are plenty of extra sessions to just accommodate everyone. And you can be sure of one thing that's not going to change, and it's just the quality of service and the excellent experience that we've, you know, built a reputation for over the years. If you have any questions about our appointments or our treatments, please leave a comment below. If you want to book an appointment with us, just head over to our website. I've left a link below and you can book in. And if you're enjoying our content, please don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and give this video a thumbs up. Until next time, stay beautiful.